Hello, my name is Roland Tipton. This is Calm 206 Public Speaking Online. This is my audience. So today I want to talk to you guys about the importance of in-person communication compared to using technology to communicate. There are a lot of disadvantages to doing this sort of thing. So if you guys want to create a relationship or save a relationship, you might want to pay attention. Have you guys ever seen this right here? A bunch of people sitting around all on their cell phones, either playing games or checking their email or whatever it may be. This is something that is pretty common if you go anywhere. When I go to pick up my children at school, all the parents are standing there, they have their cell phones out, nobody's talking, it's a dead silence. If you go to anywhere, you go to a mall or you go to any public space, this is what you're mostly going to see. Technology affects three main areas as far as the workplace, where people go to work, family to include children, relationships, and also mental health. So in the workplace, technology causes a lot of distractions. A lot of people are either checking their emails or they're YouTubing something or they're on Facebook or they're Twitter. A lot of times is productivity decreases because people are not actually focusing on their work, or vice versa. They are focusing on their work, but their mind is somewhere else, such as who's going to watch such and such movie that they saw on Facebook, or who doesn't like who, or what pop star tweeted what. This affects work relationships because you don't get to have that in-person communication if you're sitting there all the time and you're always on your phone or the internet or whatever it is. In my audience right here, you have Michael Ransom and Joseph Kursix. Joseph Kursix was actually a band member before we started working together. He opened up big, in front of big shows of a couple thousand people. I would never figure this out through text. The only way I figured this out is from getting to know him in personal communication. Michael Ransom actually has a degree in psychology. Would have never figured this out other than talking to him. He's a short little guy, but he has a big heart and a big mind. He cares about a lot of different people. Would never figured this out. Facebook also brings a lot of drama. So does YouTube. A lot of people sit there and they watch videos and they spend a lot of time trying to learn different stuff or watching silly stuff or whatever it may be. They're not actually out there experiencing those for themselves. They're using the experiences from other people. A lot of people don't really read newspapers anymore or magazines. They sit there and they'd rather watch and listen. As a kid growing up, it was always stated that kids should not watch more than 2 hours of TV a day. Unfortunately today, most kids and people are actually on some sort of internet or TV or gaming device for 6 to 8 hours throughout the day if they're given that opportunity. This is where people's lives are consumed, and this is what we really need to get away from and rather have more in-person communication. Cell phones, text, emails, virtual video conferencing, these are a lot of things that people use their cell phones for. There are advantages to having it, but the disadvantages is the importance of interpersonal communication and also the relationships that you can create or save. And some statistics here. In 2014, 99% of Americans own a cell phone. Out of that 99%, 81% of the Americans use their cell phone for texting, for sending text messages. 73 of that 99% of Americans use their cell phones for emails or video chatting. This could be a lot of different apps that are out there for people to communicate with over video. In 2011, teens from the ages 13 to 17 years old averaged 320 megabytes of data a month. This is an increase of 256% from 2010. In my cell phone plan, I share with somebody, and we only have on ours 200 megabytes. Okay? I don't even use that. If these teens are using 320 megabytes in 2011, you can only imagine how much they're using today. In 2011, girls averaged 3,952 texts a month, and boys averaged 2,815 texts a month. Screen time does affect kids. When time is spent on the screen, such as a video game or a cell phone or the internet, rather than with other kids or adults, there is a struggle for these kids to understand emotion, to create relationships either with their peers or adults or family members, and they become more dependent on others. They don't have that personal communication as far as being built. Several kids, like I say, you go to a school or a mall or some public function, you're going to see kids just like this. Okay. Denise Daniels, a parenting expert and pediatric nurse, she stated, emails and texts, these lack the emotive qualities of face-to-face interaction for kids. Kids need to be hugged and they need to be physically interacted with. Growing up, kids, you want to hug them, love them, show a lot of different things with them. Could you imagine if you just gave them a cell phone and then you text them this? It's not going to have the same importance to it. And as the kids are growing up, they're not going to have that feeling inside. Everything's going to be read off a screen. This is a basic need to feel a social bond, is to have that physical interaction with kids while they're growing up. Studies have shown that 7% of communication is based off written and verbal word. 93% of communication is based off non-verbal body language, which cannot be seen or heard through a text message or a phone call or a video conference. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders is a well-known manual that is used by all mental health providers. This includes psychiatrists, doctors, counselors, therapists, all the way from working from babies up to the elderly. In the DSM, that's what it stands for, there is an internet and gaming disorder. Gamers play compulsively to the exclusion of other interests. This means that this is what they're involved in, and this is what they care about most, more than their own interests, whatever that may be. The persistent, recurrent online activity results in clinically significant impairment or distress. They're getting into their games and the internet, and they're not really realizing what's really going on in real life. This endangers academic and job functions to the amount of time spent playing games. Continuing with the DSM, gamers, they will experience symptoms of withdrawal and pull away from their gaming, so they will experience withdrawals. Studies have suggested certain pathways in their brains are triggered in the same direct and intense way that a drug addict's brain is affected by a particular substance. Many people are unfortunately on drugs, and when they have their withdrawals or they're not in the right state of mind, it alters it. Internet and gaming disorders has the same effect. So what I would like to tell you guys today is put down your cell phone, get off the internet, turn off the TV, get to know the people around you. It's very important. If you want our community, which we live in, and our nation and the world in itself to continue to grow and not have that emotional feeling inside that you can display to other people, then continue using this. But that's going to be a harsh world to live in, and I really hope that you guys make those changes today. Thank you.